Tonight, some of the president's most ardent and important supporters are calling for a sit-down with President Trump, evangelical leaders organizing a meeting. And on the agenda, concern over the Stormy Daniels allegations. Now, that is according to NPR. One key leader helping to organize the meeting is Tony Perkins, the president of the Family Research Council, and he is here in New York tonight, and it's great to see you in person, Tony. I really appreciate it. So this meeting is obviously getting a lot of talk. NPR is reporting that Stormy Daniels is going to be on the agenda for this meeting. It's
news to me. As one of the key organizers, that's news. That's never even come up in the conversation. We started that conversation 2 years ago here in New York.
Yep.
Evangelicals really forced into a room with the president because of the policies of Barack Obama and the prospects of Hillary Clinton continuing those. And evangelicals came out impressed with what they heard, supportive of Donald Trump. 2 years later, they remain supportive because he's followed through on those promises.
So one of your fellow evangelical leaders who's also involved in organizing the meeting, that's who NPR was quoting, and I just wanted to read to you what he said. "We are very concerned about the allegations," referring to Stormy Daniels. "It is a concern of ours that 2018 could be very detrimental to some of the other issues we hold dear, like preserving religious liberty and restricting abortion rights." And obviously the context there perhaps is, to the extent that Stormy Daniels and these other issues are impacting voters, it could mean very significant losses.
Well, actually,
is that something you agree with?
I take issue with that. In fact, I have to say that's not somebody who's been part of organizing this, because, Erin, I can tell you that in our conversations, which actually began at the funeral of Billy Graham, that's never even come up. That's not even been a consideration. The consideration is, yes, we do believe the GOP is in trouble. They're in trouble because Republicans in Congress have not delivered on their promises. And the only hope that the Republicans have is Donald Trump communicating to evangelicals that he continues to need their help to further and continue the agenda that began 2 years ago.
So at this point, I know you and I have talked about this before, but you do not have any concerns about the allegations?
No, I mean, look.
From Stormy Daniels or any of the other women about this president?
When we met with him 2 years ago, and then there was the Hollywood video, and there were all the issues from the past. We knew there were things in his past. That's why most of us were not with him to begin with, and it was only...
Right, you supported Ted Cruz.
I did. I campaigned across the country for him. But it came down to a choice, not a hypothetical, a choice between Hillary Clinton, who would continue the policies of Barack Obama, and taking a risk with Donald Trump. 2 years, not quite 2 years later, we're almost 2 years later, he's actually kept his promises that he made to those evangelicals. Are those issues a problem? Yes, they're a problem.
The issues of morality,
that's why they
character?
were not, that's why evangelicals did not support him initially. If this becomes present-day behavior, it is a problem.
Right, that's what you've told me. You've said if it's in the past, you will forgive. It is happening now, then that would change your situation.
It's in the past from a standpoint. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it acceptable. We tell our children this is wrong. We hold ourselves to a standard that says this is wrong. But what I'm saying is, we knew there were issues. We just didn't know the details. Now we know the details. We're asked, does it make a difference? No, it's still a problem. However, here we are. The choice before us was either to support him.
But even with that problem, you still made the choice you made. The point is, though, obviously, you know, Jeff Flake recently said the president should be challenged by a Republican in the 2020 primary. You obviously did not support him in the last primaries. You supported Ted Cruz, in part, I believe, because of some of these very serious moral questions. Would you consider supporting someone else, a Republican?
As long as this president keeps his promises that he made to evangelicals and continues, and to the voters.
But if someone else makes the same promises as a Republican and does not have the same moral challenges, would you switch? That's the question.
Here's the commitment. This is why the president, I think, is enjoying the relationship with evangelicals, is that there was really a transaction. He said he wrapped himself in the most conservative party platform. He's now been executing on that. And as long as his behavior that we're talking about here is the past and stays in the past, that support for him will continue.